Hello, so this is my game right here. I've essentially titled it Impact. Thinking of calling it something else. That doesn't really matter. But anyways, this is my game. Right here, you can see the room. This is in GameMaker Studio or GameMaker 2. Um, yeah, you can see right here. So GameMaker, right? And these are the two characters. These are objects in the game. You can see I've had them set into player objects. So this is player one in the blue, player two is red. And right here, if I double click on either one of them, you can see all of their code. So right here is the draw event. This draws the health bars. It draws essentially every sprite of the health bar, which I will show you the sprites later. Right here, this checks if the player two's bullet collides with player one. That's why there's a collision event right here. Right here is drawing the shadow for the player. Right here is the creation step or the creation event, and this will happen on the creation of the character. So at the beginning of the game, the player will be created. These are their stats, their movement, their health, all of those things. And then right here is probably the most important thing in the game. So let's try to make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it a little better. So right here. This is getting the player's input. It's going to check for whatever buttons they press. Player one and player two have different inputs. So player one will use WASD as the keys to move, and they will use tab to shoot or fire the gun. Then player two will use the arrows on the keyboard, and they will use the space button to shoot or fire their gun. And then right here just calculates the movement, and it's essentially the same thing for both players, just it'll check different buttons. So this code is the same for player two. Right here, checks the horizontal movement. Here's their jumping. We have to check for collisions with walls or with bullets. This checks the vertical collision, so if they're jumping and they jump into the ceiling, or if they jump down and they're landing on the ground. Um, right here, that's their Y speed. So, again, if they're jumping up, there's a speed for that. And then right here, we change all of the animations according to what the player is doing. So if they're running, it'll be one animation. If they're running the other way, it'll swap the sprite animation. If they crouch down, there's an animation for that. There's a jumping animation. So it checks and handles all of those things. Then shooting has its own little animation as well with a little muzzle flash you can see here. And it'll change directions depending on which way the player is facing. And then there's also a sound played with that. So we'll go to the sounds, and you'll see that there is the music, which is background music for the game. And you'll also see that there's the firing sound as well. Then for the sprites, if we go to the sprites, these are essentially the assets or what the player will see. So here's the health bar, some walls, just a basic background. You saw the bullets a little bit earlier. And there's a bullet stream that I haven't yet added, but we'll add it eventually. And then here are all of the players' animations. So you got jump, run, crouch, and idle. So now I'm going to hurry and just show you what it looks like. I'm not going to speak because I don't think you'll hear me over the music. So we run it, and the game will pop up. WASD to change the first player. So you can crouch, jump, and move. You can even crouch in the air if you want, but you notice if you crouch, movement is slower as well here. So you can fire. Those bullets are really small, but you can see them. So now we'll press tab. I shot player two, and you see his health bar goes down. See, and if he shoots me, my health goes down as well until he dies. And then it'll destroy the instance. So that is how that game works. Now, there are a couple of things I have to add. I want to add a scoreboard. I want to fix some of the animations with firing. You'll notice that if I turn to the left, the muzzle flashes behind the character, so I got to change that. And then I also want to add the ability for the players to respawn. But other than that, this is my game. This is a majority of the code. Um, and then here's all of the objects like you saw earlier, which is all really important. That's how it all works. You put it all into the room and it'll run the code. So that is my game titled Impact.